Hi everyone! Okay, welcome back to my channel! Hi, my name is Angie and welcome to today's episode of Real Talks. It is episode 5 if I'm not mistaken, and today is all about career advice. Yes, it's quite exciting because I'm just gonna channel my inner social hits tips. So if you don't already know, I have another YouTube channel that I have started with Carol, and it is called Social Hits. So basically we do hit workouts, or we just work out in general while providing you guys 6 tips about social media. So taking cue from what we normally do, I also decided to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the career advice that I have gotten throughout the years, and I'm splitting it into 2 different parts. The first part is I'm gonna just talk about 3 career advice that I've gotten throughout my working career that I have followed and stayed true, and how it has helped me throughout my career, and also 3 different career tips that I may have gotten that I may not have applied, or I may not have followed throughout my career as well, because maybe I felt like it didn't apply to the work that I was doing, or it didn't apply to me personally as the type of leader or the type of person that I want to be at work. So of course, starting things off with reminding you guys again that if this is the first time that you're watching my video, the first time that you're here, hi, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Friday and Saturday, and every Friday if you want to come back to learn something a little bit about me, or have some real chit chats or real talks with me, you can always leave whatever comments that you have in the comment box down below, and then give me suggestions if there's any particular advice that you want, whether it's career advice, personal advice, you need someone to listen to you rant. I can be your girl. Okay, so let's just get into today's video. So first things first, 3 career advice that I have followed throughout my own career journey, or like my work experience journey basically. And the first thing is not something that I particularly was told to do, but it's something that I have observed, and something that I feel like it is very relatable to how I am as a person, and how I want to be portrayed to those people who are reporting to me, or those people who are working with me, or if I'm going to work with them in a team. And that is lead with heart. And it is really something that I have seen with my own eyes. A lot of my previous managers, or like some of my previous bosses, ex-bosses, ex-managers and so on, the way that they led me, or like the way they led the team that they were handling, is they will always lead with heart. And it is definitely something that I want to also be able to portray to the team that I am, not reporting, the team that I am also working with, right? I want them to be able to feel, to see that I am leading them from my heart. And what it means is that it's really staying true to yourself and being genuine in the things that you are telling them, the things that you are, teaching them, and a lot of like knowledge that you are sharing with them. Everything for me comes from the heart. And at the end of the day, it is also something that I have personally been exposed to. A lot of like, not just the bosses that I was directly reporting to, there were also a lot of like different bosses and mentors that I have came across throughout my work career, and they have always led with their heart. And that is really something that helped me relate to them so much easier, and it really came across as really genuine people who I want to learn more with, or I feel like I can take so much from them, and they are never selfish with their knowledge and their experience. And of course, at the end of the day, if you really want to put it so loosely, it's to them, or like the way that they lead, it's not about talk. Like it's like don't so yaya papaya. At the end of the day, we always want to pretend we are yaya papaya, right? But at the end of the day, I know my heart is very soft, and I feel like that is something that it's very easily portrayed to whoever is reporting to me. I really wear my heart on my sleeve at the end of the day, because I want them to know that this is the me that you are getting. The me that you are watching right now on video is the me that you will also come across when you meet me in person. I don't want to be someone whom I do not like, or someone that I I don't believe in at the end of the day. So like leading with heart has really helped me build such great relationships with not just those who have reported to me or those that I've reported to, but even other people that I have come across with throughout my career or my work career as well. So it is so important, and it is such an advice that I feel like everyone should really think about, not just when they are starting out as their first job, not just when they are, you know, first time being a manager, but at every single situation that they are being put into, whether it's a work environment, a personal environment, a relationship building environment, or so on and so forth. And of course, the second thing is not just something that I have observed, but you know, my managers and also my bosses that I've worked with previously, I've also seen them do this, and it's always, you know, lead by example. And it is, you know, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. And a lot of times people will say, okay, as a manager you're supposed to manage, and as a leader you're supposed to lead. Yes, I do believe that as well, but at the end of the day, you have to also not be afraid to get your hands down and dirty. And especially with me working in an environment where, you know, there's a lot of moving parts that are constantly evolving, constantly changing. There's a lot of times where you have to put yourself in those situations, you know, take the wheel and like drive the damn car. And why I say that is because, like, at the end of the day, a lot of people may look at that certain work that you are doing on a very surface level. They may not fully understand whatever goes into like the process of the work that you do. And I think like the biggest struggle is really trying to get people to understand the work that we do. And therefore, I really feel like you should never be afraid to like get your hands down and dirty and, like, you know, get the job done, get to the nitty-gritty. Even though you are the boss or whatever, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. And a lot of times, just an example, while I was working in the Philippines, we had this great opportunity to handle one of like the biggest events in Philippine history. And you know, even me as their boss, and even my boss or like our boss's boss would, you know, get down and dirty to do exact works. Like, you know, we had to make sure that we get the ball rolling, make sure the campaign is a success, and at the end of the day, every success that we manage to gain is collectively our success. And me, I would never ever take away the success of my team, because that is just so freaking selfish. And at the end of the day, whenever I'm talking to like my teammates, or rather I'm talking to like my subordinates, which I don't like to call them, my colleagues, I would always tell them that, you know, whatever accomplishments that they get, whether they believe it's a team effort, it is always their celebration. It's always the work. They will be put in the forefront. I will just be in the background supporting them. But at the end of the day, if there is a mistake or there is something that, you know, was overlooked, I would be the first person to be on that front to support, because as the boss, I need to take that responsibility for them. But I would never take away, you know, their celebrations or their achievements, because that is just so freaking selfish. Don't do that. And of course, to those who are looking for, you know, whether it's a company that they want to like move into, or like, you know, a possible manager or a boss or a leader that they want to like work for in the future, you gotta also think about these kinds of like small little details, because at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that you are appreciated and you have room to like grow and flourish. And of course, the third career advice that I've come across is basically, I think, one of the most important one that one of my mentors told me, and it is really something that I have tried to take with me into every single situation that I have been in. And this advice is really like, basically, don't lose sleep over things you cannot control. And I feel like it is such great advice, because a lot of times I felt like I've lost a lot of sleep, or like there's been so much pressure, so much stress over like minute details of things that may not be in my control. And at the end of the day, I need to always remind myself that, you know, I've tried my best. I've tried to, you know, do or follow every different step, look at things differently, take different angles, take different, you know, approaches of how to come out from a situation. And at the end of the day, if things don't work out, it just didn't work out. Maybe it was not your time. And I think that one advice that was given to me really helped me like open my eyes to see that, you know, it's not all just about like trying to like bring yourself down, to like kill yourself to do something that you really cannot control. And this was really during a time when I was really so stressed about hitting certain numbers or hitting certain targets. I would really lose sleep and I would be so stressed. I was like losing my hair. I had like so many pimples on my face, and my mentor literally just told me like, you know, stop losing sleep over things that you cannot control. What are they gonna do if you don't meet your targets or things like that? You've tried your best, you know. At the end of the day, things will work out. You need to go at your own pace. If you're losing sleep and then getting sick and then not being able to, you know, do your work at 100%, at the end of the day, you are your own biggest enemy. You're screwing that up, you know, by putting so much pressure on yourself for something that you really cannot control. And I think that was really one of the best advice that I was given, that I still take a lot of times when I'm really very stressed. Like, I'll just think about that advice that was given to me and then calm down and then go back and try to like fix the situation or fix whatever that I was doing. Okay, so the next 3 advice is basically 3 career advice that I didn't follow. It may have been given to me, or it may have been something that I noticed, or I not assumed. It may have been something that was, yeah, probably given to me, or something that I have noticed, but it's still something that I felt was not me, and it's not something that I felt was something that I should take into consideration or use that as a good advice to like progress my career. And the first thing is, I think this little advice was given to me. I don't even remember when it was, but it is something that was given to me as I was progressing through my career. And that one advice was literally, it gets lonely at the top. And I think there were a lot of merits to this advice that was given to me, and I do appreciate that advice that was given. And I also do believe that at the end of the day, when you become like a leader, a manager, someone's boss, there is a very fine line between like a leader and their subordinate, right? And a lot of times there are a lot of like hidden cues, or like I wouldn't say hidden agenda, but a lot of times you will have some form of resistance when it comes to trying to relate to those who are maybe in a lower level than where you currently are. And I think at the end of the day, it still goes back to that first advice that I shared in the start of the video, right? It's basically leading with heart. So I always took that advice that was given to me with like a pinch of salt, because I feel like at the end of the day, no matter where you are in your career, or like which level you are in your career, right, you should never feel like you are an outsider. Because if you are going to lead with heart, and if you're going to be genuine to building relationships with your colleagues, with your management, with the people in your company, you know, have great culture, there is no such thing as being lonely at the top. So it was not something that I really took into like consideration as I was progressing in my career. I literally took that advice and made sure that I'm not going to be like this when I become a leader. And it has really helped me build so many great relationships that I currently have with like my ex-colleagues, who are now I call my friends. So yeah. The second one is, I think a lot of times this is something that you will hear in like, I don't know, webinars, or like you will read on like, what do you call it, articles and things like that. And it's basically, you gotta play the game to get to the top. And I feel like this is so freaking annoying when people say this to me, because like, what game do you mean you want to play? Like, game that you know, you want to play a game with people's feelings? You want to play like politics? Like guys, politics, it's already what our government is doing, you know. Don't bring that to like your work. Don't bring that to, you know, your relationships. Don't play whatever game it is that you want to get to the top. Yes, at the end of the day, there are so many different people that you meet at work, at different companies. You meet so many different bosses. Of course, you have like, you know, different types of like bosses and leadership styles as well, right, at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't even remember where I got that advice from, or it could have been something during a conversation or like in passing that was talked about, like, girl, you gotta, you know, at your level, you gotta play the game to like move up in your career. And I really felt like this was such an annoying advice that you would give to people. And if you are really looking to, you know, help people grow, progress in their career, what kind of advice are you giving to people to ask them to play this kind of like politics, you know, be bad guys, or like be all those kinds, you know, always the nice guys finish last, you know what I mean? And I really feel like people need to take a cue and, you know, sit the F down, shut the F up, and just focus on doing good work for whatever it is that they are doing. If you're working for, you know, a big brand, a client, or, you know, you're working on whatever it is, just do your bloody best and let your work speak for itself. Don't play these kinds of stupid mind games. Like, really, you guys, we don't have time. We have so many other things to worry about. Let this not be something that you constantly have to worry about and lose sleep over. And of course, third thing, and finally, the last advice that I was given is to basically, you know, you gotta speak up to be heard. It's kind of similar to the second advice that I was given, and I really feel like as a leader, as a manager, it is your job to make sure that whatever work your team is doing gets the due recognition it deserves. Don't let someone else bring you down just because you are not someone who speaks their mind. And at the end of the day, your work should be the ones that really, I mean, how do I say this? Your work should really speak for itself. And a lot of times, a lot of people have asked me why there are so many different people, right? And because of the industry that I work in, a lot of people have asked me, why don't you, you know, want to work for like awards? Why don't you submit cases to win this, to win that, to blah blah blah, to, you know, why didn't you like be featured in articles of doing this or doing that? And my answer is always very simple. At the end of the day, I want to do good work for my clients. I want to make sure that their objectives are met. And I don't think whichever brand or whichever client who, you know, did anything would say, okay, my one objective for Ngiebear is to win an award. Like, dude, we want to sell products, or we want to create sales, we want to increase our profits, increase our revenues, and so on and so forth. Like, who the F wants to talk about winning this Timbuktu award that, you know, it's all chest beating? And of course, definitely I would love to win awards, but not at the aspect of, you know, killing the people who are working so hard on that and overinflating your numbers, which we all know is fake. So I'm so angry when people say you gotta speak up to be heard. Guys, just make sure that the work that you're putting in should speak volumes to whatever it is that makes you proud and makes you happy. And at the end of the day, it's yours. It's your recognition to be so happy. Yeah, I'm starting to sweat because I'm starting to get like so passionate and so angry with like all these things that I'm talking about. But yeah, so yeah, those 3 career advice that I followed and 3 career advice I gotten that I did not follow. I want to say that it was short and sweet, but girl, it was not short, neither was it sweet, because I think I got a little like too like gung-ho or like carried away as I was giving those advice that I learned. But I do hope that you guys learned something from this video, and if you are thinking of, you know, starting a new job, moving up in your career, want to ask for like bigger bonus, more promotion, you gotta really also tune into whatever it is that you're feeling, your gut. You know what I mean? Like, you also got to really like tune into whatever it is that, you know, you discuss with your managers, your leaders, and things like that, and make sure that you hold them accountable to whatever it is that you have discussed. And really, for me, as someone who internalizes a lot of discussions that I have, a lot of times I do like I'm not afraid to apologize. Basically, I apologize if there are certain things that I am unable to do, and I'm very upfront with those kind of things, because at the end of the day, you know, it's honesty, and I need to tell you if I can or cannot achieve the things that I'm going to do. So really think about what it is that you want to do as your career progresses, and don't forget to lead with heart. Just show that, you know, whatever it is, don't be afraid to let your work speak for itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Instagram at Ngiebear, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye!